Hi everyone, my name's Kev, and last year I bought this Suzuki DL650. I had the previous model to this 2 or 3 years back, and I sold that to buy a Honda Goldwing, which I've still got, so I'm very fortunate and blessed to have 2 motorbikes. Maybe at some stage I'll do a bit of a talk on the Honda Goldwing, but these Suzukis, this model of V-Strom, they're a wonderful bike. They're just a great bike to ride. They're very easy to ride, plenty of power. This is a full power model. I don't know that there's a lot of difference between the full power one and the Lambs one. I haven't ridden one, but anyway, I just wanted to share some things that I've done just to customise the bike a little bit. That's what it's all about when you buy a motorcycle. It's not just getting the bike and riding it. Some of the fun is in tweaking it and doing some things to it that you like, that suit you, that you think look good, and that you think make the bike better for you to ride and to handle. So the first thing I did was the handlebar risers. I put handlebar risers on this that lifted the handlebars a bit and also moved them back. I've got reasonably long arms, but for me that made quite a difference really, so I really like that. The other thing I did at the same time was I got a foot peg lowering kit, and this lowers the pegs down a little bit. There's another reason why I did that, which I'll talk about in a few moments. I got the Givi airflow screen. All I can really say about these airflow screens is that they definitely make a difference. The standard screen that this bike came with is, well, it's a screen, but I can't say it's anything fantastic. But these airflow screens are really good. They're easy to adjust at the tabs here. You can raise them and lower them. Just as a bit of a pointer, you can actually adjust this while you're riding the bike, although I wouldn't recommend it. There has been the odd occasion where I've undone the tabs and I've banged the thing down because the sun's been facing me, the screen's been quite dirty, and it's been hard to sort of see through it, so I've pushed it right down. I wouldn't recommend trying to lift it up, although you can. I believe there have been some guys that have pulled the screen up, it's come right out of the slots, it'll slide right out of there, the wind catches it and away it goes, and you find yourself buying another screen. So the next thing that I put on the bike was the engine bars that you can see here, the Givi engine bars. I think they make the bike look better. I think they're a good bar, and they definitely save your bike if you fall over or have a bit of a crash. None of us want to have a crash, but these things do happen from time to time. A few years back, my wife and I rode our other V-Strom around the South Island together, and we fell over in a car park. Highly embarrassing, but the engine bars definitely saved the bike from getting scratched and dented. We had hard panniers on that bike, and they also helped to protect the bike. There was virtually no damage at all. So they definitely are worth having, and I think they look better as well. The next thing that I did, in fact I didn't sort of do these things in any particular sequence, I just kind of did things as I could afford to buy them. The next thing that I put on was the engine guard. I think the engine guard, this particular engine guard that I've put on this bike, it definitely makes the bike look better, and it gives a bit of protection to the engine. I don't do a lot of off-road riding, so I didn't feel I needed to put a metal one on. There are a variety of engine guards you can get, of course, if you're going to be doing a lot of off-road and a bit of cross-country stuff. you're probably better to put something on that's a little bit more robust, but for what I'm doing, I just like this one. It gives the engine a bit of protection, protects the oil filter, and also, as I said, it looks a lot better. I bought this box here off Trade Me. I think it was about $65. It's a plastic molded box. I think it's a 36 litre or something like that. It's a good size anyway, and it comes with a plate. It's not as solid and as robust perhaps as the Givi ones are, or some of the other ones you can get, but I'm pretty happy with it. I think it'll do the job that I want it to do. If I was doing a lot of long trips and travelling a lot, I'd probably have something perhaps a little bit more durable, but it looks good. I put these red stripes on. There was some horrible looking goldy silver band around there that looked terrible. I took it off and just put some red pinstriping on to match the bike. It does look good, and you can fit a full face helmet in there. I can put my jacket in there with my helmet if I stop somewhere at some shops and don't want to cart my gear around or have a coffee somewhere. I can lock it all up in this box. And also the snap-on tank bag. This one is the one that clips on. It has the tank ring that you fit to the bike. This is a 20 litre bag, and you can fit a lot of stuff in there as well. I won't be doing probably a lot of long trips where I'm away for days on end. I might do a few overnighters at some stage, and if I need a bit of extra baggage, I can just tie a roll bag on the back here. So the next thing I did was I made a centre stand. Now, I did this because the standard centre stand to buy for one of these bikes is about $400, and for what it is, I just thought, you know, I reckon I could make one of those. I'm a bit of an engineer. I've got a welder at home, and I tinker around with that sort of thing. So I actually made a stand for it. I just made up a bit of a pattern. Maybe I'll do a little bit of a video at some stage on how I made it and fitted it all up to the bike. And also, you know, the aftermarket ones were pretty expensive as well, and I just didn't feel like coughing up a whole lot of dollars for a centre stand. But it works really well. I'm really pleased with the way that it came out. I can get it up and down off the stand pretty good. There's a couple of little things that weren't quite as good as they could have been, but you would never know. So I made the centre stand for it myself. The next thing, well, one of the things that I did, and this is a bit of a hack if you want to get yourself a little bit lower on the bike. I took these rubbers out of the seat, and I cut them in half. I just put them in a vise and I cut them with a box knife. I've still got 4 complete ones, or the proper ones for it. So the reason why I did that was because it actually lowers me a little bit on the bike. Not that my legs are too short or anything, but I'm not a young fella anymore, and I like to have a bit more foot on the ground when I stop or when I need to hold the bike up. It may only seem like a few millimetres, but a few millimetres lower here makes a big difference down there on the ground when you need to put your foot down on the ground and get it a bit flatter on the ground. So it enabled me to lower the bike, to lower myself without having to lower the bike. The other bike I had, the one I had before this, I put a lowering kit in it just to lower it down a bit, and I just found that it made the bike a little bit too low. I'm a pretty conservative sort of a rider. I ride it reasonably safely, and I'm not into getting around corners as fast as I possibly can, but there were 1 or 2 times when the bike touched down and I didn't like that, so I lifted it back up again, and I did the same thing with the previous model. I figured out a way to lower it. So hence, that's one of the reasons why I put the peg kit on to lower the bike. So yeah, that's my DL650. Great bike, I love it. Looking forward to doing some more videos of me going for rides, and putting some more stuff up on YouTube. Hopefully, God willing, I'll be able to do that. Part of the fun of having a bike, of course, for me is being able to do all these little things and get the bike looking really good and customise it a little bit to suit me. That's what it's all about. You might think that some of the things I've done I don't need to do, and why would you want to do that? Well, it doesn't really matter, and I don't really care. You do the things to your bike that suit you and that make it comfortable for you, and that's what it's all about. And the other thing, of course, is making videos and doing some of the stuff like that I do. So I'm hoping to do some videos of the area around here where I live. There's some interesting things to see, places to go. I've got some quite good camera gear. I've got a DJI Mini 2 drone, which I've learnt to fly and done a little bit of drone work as well. So yeah, I hope you like the video. Give me a thumbs up, subscribe. That's what all the good video YouTube people say. Hopefully you've enjoyed the video, and there's some things there. You might have some questions to ask. Feel free to ask away. When it comes to riding tips, well, it's not really my thing to tell people how to ride a motorcycle. I'm certainly not an expert or a professional myself, but there's a couple of things that I just want to mention. I don't know whether it's just the fact that it's a bit of a hotter summer this year, but I've seen a lot of guys and girls riding their motorcycles in shorts and t-shirts, and some of them have been getting along pretty quickly in reasonably heavy traffic, and it's given me goosebumps on a couple of occasions when I've thought about these young ones. If they come off their bike, the damage that it'll do to their flesh. You don't want to leave half your leg hanging up on the road if you fall off your bike. Even if you just fall off at an intersection or fall over and all you've got on is a pair of shorts and your knee hits the ground, I can tell you from experience, and after being around for a while with people who've damaged their knees just by not taking care, you'll live with it for the rest of your life. So tell me, which one of these two people do you think is going to have less damage done to his body and his flesh if he comes off his motorcycle? And the one with the shorts and the t-shirts on, you might think that's a bit of an overkill, but I've seen a lot of people this year riding around just like that. Please, please, put some decent gear on. Save your flesh, save your body. And that's just a tip and a point that I just think needs to be highlighted, because I've seen so many people doing that this year. And my other tip is that if you want some good tips on how to ride better, keep yourself up to date with some of the stuff that's available to us today. YouTube has been a great help to me. There's a lot of really good guys on there. I can't think of anybody off the top of my head, but there's a lot of really good stuff on YouTube. Good tips and good helps, especially if you're a beginner. And there's been a number of things that I've picked up when I first started riding, and even now. Keep yourself up to date, keep yourself refreshed, practice the things that you're not doing so well, and just look to those that can help you. I'm not an expert at this, as I said, but yeah, just make yourself available to be refreshed and to remind yourself that there's a lot of people out there that can help us to ride our motorcycles a lot better, a lot more safer, and hopefully we can all come home safe. So thanks for watching, and no offense to anybody in those tips, but yeah, just those two things. Put some decent gear on and keep yourself up to speed with things that you can improve on and practice them. Thanks for watching. See you next time.